review it in Algebra 2 also. So today we're going to solve one-step linear equations. So a couple things to remember is this concept of inverse. So in math, inverse, we're usually referring to the opposite operation. So some common inverses that we'll see in algebra are add and subtract, multiply and divide, or square and square root. So for our purposes today, we're just going to be looking at the add and subtract, multiply and divide because we're doing linear equations. So once we get into solving quadratics, then we'll be looking at these inverses also. So first, let's take a look at our most basic linear equation to solve. So we might have something like x plus 7 equals 10. Now I know most of you can just look at that and you know that the number that we need here for x to add 7 and equal 10 is 3, right? But things are going to get a little more complicated when we get into multi-step equations. So we want to do this by the book. And you know, math teachers, we love work, showing work. So this is where the concept of equality will come in also. So since we're adding 7, to undo that, to get the x by itself, we need to subtract 7. Now, an equation is defined by its equal sign. So both sides of the equation have to remain equal. So if I take 7 off of this side, then I need to take 7 off of the other side to keep that equality. So now these cancel, the x comes down, 10 minus 7 is equal to 3. So let's take a look at one that has subtraction. It's going to work the exact same way here. So x minus 5 equals 15. So remember, we want to get this x by itself. We're solving for x. And now we're subtracting 5. Well, the opposite or the inverse of subtracting 5 is to add it. And we want to keep both sides equal, so we need to add 5 to this side also. These cancel, we bring down the x is equal to 20. And then we have multiply and divide. So let's say we have 2x equals 14. So remember, we're trying to get this guy by itself. So we need to get rid of that too. Well, it's understood when you have a number, a coefficient, next to a letter, the variable, that these two things are being multiplied. So to undo the multiplication, we use division. So if we're multiplying by 2, we want to divide by 2. Whatever we do to this side, we have to do to this side. These guys cancel. We have x equals 7. And then for our last one, we're going to look at a division problem. So say you see something like this, 1/5 x equals 3. So at first it kind of looks like a multiplication problem, right? Because we have this coefficient with the x. So it can be a multiplication problem, or just by rewriting this as x divided by 5 equals 3. Because 1/5 of a number is the same thing as dividing that number by 5. So just be sure that you can recognize that this is the exact same thing. So from here, if we're dividing x by 5, then our one step we need to do is we need to multiply this side by 5. Multiply the other side by 5. These guys cancel. X is equal to 15. So stay tuned for solving two-step equations coming up next. Thank you.